Welcome everybody. Today we are proud to announce our new and highly anticipated full LED projection headlight for the Ninja 300 and 13 to 18 ZX6R636. This headlight features our proprietary design 6 low beam LED projectors, dual high beam reflectors, and dual high output LED light bars situated at the bottom. One neat feature of this headlight that's 100% plug and play. Doesn't require any modifications such as cutting, splicing, soldering, none of that. It's a true bolt-on, plug-in and go type product. This is all thanks to this simple and clean all-in-one main harness that we designed. It plugs right into the back and the other end plugs into your bike, and that's it. As an optional add-on, you can additionally install our Intelliflash module. This module allows the LED light bars to flash alongside your existing turn signals. Note that Intelliflash is sold separately. We'll walk you through the installation of the Intelliflash module later in the video. Out of the box, the light bars come pre-configured to turn on as running lights, and they will not flash at all. These headlights are also SAE and DOT approved to use in all 50 states. We put it through a testing environment and a photometrics laboratory to ensure proper brightness, color focus, to ensure your safety on the road. For beam leveling, we have pre-calibrated for the average rider. So no adjustments are needed for the majority, although you can adjust them to your weight preference by turning the adjustment screws on the back of the light. We'll walk you through later on the video how to do that. Let's go ahead and get started. This video is specific to the Ninja 300. If you have the ZX6R, go ahead and check out our other video. We're going to put a link in the description below. The installation steps in this video we're going to correspond to the printed instructions that come with the headlight. Step 1, we're going to be removing these two plastic fasteners. There's one right here and one from the bottom. These two plastic fasteners hold the left and right lower fairings together. So with a flathead screwdriver, we're going to insert it into this slot and twist, and that should release it. Pull it out. Same goes for the bottom one. And that's what it looks like right there. Now moving on to the right side of the bike, we're going to be removing this lower side fairing cover. It's held on by 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. These two using your 4mm Allen tool, and this one is a 5mm Allen tool. And take note that these two bolts have a plastic washer on them, so you don't want to lose that. And this bolt on the rear has a metal collared spacer, so you want to keep track of that as well. Now to get this thing off, it's held on by 2 locking tabs right here and 1 locking tab at the front. Just want to carefully undo this. Let's see, there's 2 here and then 1 right here. Now we're going to go repeat the same thing on the other side. Moving on to the left side of the bike is going to be the same 3 bolts holding on this side. Step 2, we're going to be removing this plastic wheel well under panel. It's held on by 3 plastic fasteners on each side. You have one right here, one right here, and then one right here, and then we have one in the center, and we have the 3 on this side, and then followed by 2 bolts. This black one right here, and this black one right here. Alright, to remove these fasteners, we're going to be using a small thin screwdriver. We're going to press the center of it down. You're going to hear a pop. Then you're able to extract the fastener. So this is what it looks like. You press the center of it down, pull it out. To reset it, you're going to push it back up, put it back into the hole, and then press it flush. So we're going to do the same thing with the rest of the fasteners on this side. Now for the 2 bolts here, and the other side, using your 10mm socket. Then to the other side. Now the panel is ready to come out. There are 3 locking tabs on each side that you need to unclip to get the whole thing off. So you start off the end down here and you slowly work your way. And come right out. Here are the locking tabs I was telling you about. There's 3 on each side. We have 1 here, 2, and 3. And here are the holes for the plastic fasteners. They have 1, 2, 3, the one in the center, 4, 5, 6, and 7 right here. And then you have the 2 mounting for the 2 bolts right here. Step 3, we're going to be removing this side painted panel under the seat. It's 1 bolt using your 4mm Allen tool, and it's going to be held on by 4 friction fasteners. And this bolt does have a collared spacer, so watch out for that. You want to pull towards you. And here they are, 1, 2, 3, and 4 fasteners, friction type. Just go ahead and repeat the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Step 4, we're going to be removing this long, thin black plastic panel under the gas tank. We have 1 bolt here using your 4mm Allen, and 1 Phillips screw here using your Phillips screwdriver. And then there's going to be 3 friction fasteners still holding it in place. 1 here, 1 here, and 1 on the top pulling up. So let's get that removed. And you want to release this catch right here from the tank. So you want to push down right here to get it past that little catch. And it'll come right out. You want to pull towards you here. And then this part pull up. And there are the 3 friction fasteners, 1, 2, and 3. And let's go on and repeat on the other side. And now onto the other side. step 5, we're going to be removing the whole left side side fairing assembly. It's going to come off in one piece. Starting from here, this whole thing is going to come off. So it's basically 4 bolts holding this on. You have one here underneath the headlight assembly. He's going to be using a 4mm Allen right here. And then one bolt at the back. It's going to be a 5mm Allen. Coming up top, one bolt here. It's going to be a 10mm socket to get that off. And then all the way down here, another bolt. It's going to be an 8mm socket. Bolt at the rear using the 5mm Allen too has a shouldered spacers, so be careful of that. The 8mm socket used to remove this bolt has a very large washer, metal one. Now we repeat the same process on the other side. Now we are ready to remove the side fairing assembly. There's only 4 locking tabs and one plastic fastener holding it in place. So one of the locking tabs is in here. There's going to be one right here, and there's 2 of them right here. And the plastic fastener is right here. So we're going to start at the front. Undo the locking tab there, and then slowly make your way here. Let's move this mirror out of the way. See this tab right there? It just came out. And then the 2 right here. At this point it should be almost ready to come out. And all it's left to do is just to remove this fastener and it'll come right off. Now what I have to do is just unhook the turn signal. What I'm going to do is use a little flathead screwdriver, pry up the locking mechanism, and pull it right out. Step 6, we're going to be removing the side mirrors and the windscreen. Each one is held on by these two bolts. Just go and remove that using your 4mm Allen tool. To remove the windscreen, you should be able to lift right up. It should come right off. Step 7, we're going to prepare to remove the whole headlight and front fairing assembly. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the zip tie. It's securing the right DRL wire and the low beam wire. So just use your pliers or your wire cutter and cut that. And we're going to do the same for the other side. On this side, this cable tie is holding down the left DRL and the high beam wire. Continuing with step 7, on the left side of the bike, we're going to remove this bolt here and this bolt right here using your 10mm socket. And so that you don't get them mixed up, the lower one is this black one and the upper one is this silver one with the really big washer on it. So let's go and move on to the other side and remove the same bolts on the other side. And on to the right side, the same two bolts, this upper one right here and this lower one right here. The headlight fairing assembly is about to come off. The only thing that's holding it in place is these 4 mirror standoffs. And then we have 2 friction fasteners at the top of the headlight. They go into rubber grommets on the frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift up on this area of the upper fairing off the mirror standoff. We're going to pull it forward and the headlight is locked in place still by the wires. So there's 2 wire management clips that we're going to need to undo. And then I put a towel right here. So we're going to rest the headlight assembly on here while we unplug the wires. So it's going to lift up here off that mirror standoff, and then on this side. Then it's going to come forward. And here's those grommets here. One here and one on the other side. Alright, here's the 2 wire management clips. There's one right here, one right here. So we're just going to bend it down to release the wire. Other side. You should have some more slack to unplug the wires now. So after undoing the wire management clips, you should have more slack to lift up on these rubber boots so you can get access to the wires underneath. So on the left side, we're going to be unplugging the high beam and the left side DRL. And under this right side boot, we're going to unplug the low beam and the right side DRL. Make sure you support the headlight. It's going to come off after this. Step 10, we're going to be removing the headlight assembly from the front nose fairing. And we have 3 bolts holding it on. One here, and one right here. So using your 8mm socket, let's go ahead and get that removed. The headlight should be able to separate. Step 11, we're going to be removing this rubber grommet and this steel collar from the factory headlight and swap it over to our new LED headlight. So we're going to go ahead and pull off this metal insert first and pull out the rubber grommet. And we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. You got to remember that this steel collar inserts from front to back. Now we're going to install the rubber grommet and steel collar back into the new LED headlight. Step 12, we're going to grab the main harness and we're going to connect it to the headlight. So let's go ahead and locate the right side, or R. The R is represented by the black and white wire. So I'm going to go ahead and locate the 4-pin off-gray connector and plug it into the corresponding 4-pin connector on the right side of the headlight. And then we're going to locate the left side, which is represented by this blue and black wire. Plug it in, the 4-pin, to the corresponding 4-pin plug on the headlight. Now we're going to secure the center of the harness down the center middle of the light. And we're going to use the included smaller cable ties and secure it to these 2 holes right here. You want to make sure the harness is as close as you can to the body of the light before you tighten that thing down. Step 13, we're going to remount the headlight back into the front nose fairing. Step 14, we're going to reinstall the headlight assembly back onto the bike. If you are not going to install a Intelliflash at this moment, we're just going to plug it in normally. So locate the right side harness, go ahead and plug into the right side output from the bike. We're going to have the low beam connector and the right side DRL. Now we're going to move on to the left side, plug in the high beam connector and the left side DRL. Go ahead and use the boot, cover them up. We're going to go ahead and put this wires back onto the wires management clip, and we're going to reinstall it onto the chassis. And make sure you want this friction fastener to go into this grommet right here. We are now going to be installing Intelliflash modules into our headlight system. So what we're going to do is lift up on the boot, unplug the DRL. The DRL is a single red wire right here. Go ahead and grab Intelliflash. You're going to see the corresponding connector on it. Go ahead and plug that one in. Male to female, and then plug female to male on the other side. And the other side of the Intelliflash is going to go to your turn signals. Probably just route that wire right there. This side, plug the right DRL. Plug in Intelliflash, male to female, female to male. And route this over to this side of the bike. Now you slide back down this rubber boot. Now we're ready to install the headlight assembly back onto the bike. Whether you install a Intelliflash or not, the installation is the same. So let's go ahead and mount the harness back onto the cable management clips. So when you're going to install the headlight, you're going to make sure the friction fastener goes into these two grommets, one on each side. Make sure this top of the fairing goes over the mirror standoffs. Now we're going to connect the other end of Intelliflash. Let's go ahead and snake this around. Go ahead and plug this output connector into the input connector of the bike turn signal system. And now you're going to have one output to connect your turn signals on the fairing later. So let's go ahead and organize these cables a little bit. Use the zip ties that I included with the kit. Let's go ahead and secure that. Let's move on to the other side. Now let's move on to the other side. Grab the other end of the Intelliflash, plug into the output connector from the bike's turn signal system. And we're going to mount the Intelliflash module right around here. With the remaining cable tie, let's organize these wires a little bit. Alright, at this point we can fire up the bike and test all the functions. High beam. You notice the flash rate is normal, even though the turn signals on the fairing are not connected. That's because this bike has already been fitted with the LED flasher relay. After we perform a systems check and everything is functional, we can go ahead and move on to step 16 and button everything back up. So we already mounted the headlight assembly back onto the bike. Let's go ahead and mount that with the 4 bolts. Then we're going to go ahead and reinstall the windscreen, the mirrors, upper side fairing, the plastic side trim, and then the painted side panel, then followed by the wheel well center cover, and then the lower side fairings. Now we're going to walk you through how to adjust the beams. Let's first start with the up and down. It's going to be these two center screws at the bottom here. You probably have to access it from under the wheel well using either an 8mm socket or a standard stubby Phillips screwdriver. This is the right side adjustment, and the left one's right here. Turning them counterclockwise will bring the beam up, and clockwise to bring the beam down. You want to make sure you turn each one the same number of revolutions so they stay at the same height. For the left and right adjustments, the adjustment's going to be made from the top through these holes right here. There's one on this side and another hole on the other side. You're going to be sticking a standard Phillips screwdriver in there, and you're going to be turning the little wheel. I want to demonstrate that off the bike. Now we're going to demonstrate how to adjust the left and right on the headlight. Like I mentioned earlier, it's impossible to film it while this on the bike, so we have it off of the bike on the table just to show you what it looks like. So once you insert your screwdriver into that hole that I mentioned earlier, it's going to sit right in this position on this spline on this wheel. So as you're turning the screwdriver, it's going to turn the splines. So as you turn clockwise on the screwdriver, you see the wheel move counterclockwise. And same the opposite way too. Counterclockwise, you see the wheel move clockwise. So for on the left side, if you wanted to make it adjust right, you want to turn the screwdriver clockwise. And if you wanted to adjust left, you want to turn it counterclockwise. So it's going to be the opposite on the right side because it's on the other side of the light. So on the right side, if you wanted to make left adjustment, you want to turn the screwdriver counterclockwise. And if you wanted to adjust right on the right side, you want to turn it clockwise.